Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 20th of December 2019 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. I thought tonight's Friday Night Smackdown was an alright show. I wouldn't call it bad, but I wouldn't call it really good. I'd just call it alright, to be completely honest. I didn't think there was anything really bad on the show, but at the same time, I really didn't think there was anything like that great on the show as well. So, I mean, hey, it was a SmackDown. That's all you can really say. It was a SmackDown like any other SmackDown, and nothing really special happened except for one thing. Lacey Evans' daughter fucking killed it. But before we talk about SmackDown, let's see actually who's here with us in the live chat. We do have Glenn Hunt. We've got Henry McKenna Cavallo, Chris Gomez, Wayne Montgomery. Got Nelson, Kristen McNutt, Jason Dalton. So Montgomery says, hey, I thought the New Day versus Shinsegae Nakamura Cesaro was a title match tonight, not a non-title match, because remember you announced yesterday it was a title match, because it was announced as a title match. I mean, let me pull up WWE.com and the article from yesterday. Let me find it right here. Because yesterday, when they announced it, it was announced as a title match. So let's double check, see if I was wrong or not, as saying that it was a title match. Let's see. If we go to WWE.com, let's let this load. Let's see who else is here with us in the live chat. We've also got a CT Fish, a Gregory, Sinclair Saturday. All right, here we go. SmackDown. Now we got to scroll through and find the post. All right, let's see. I think I may have found it. Let's double check this. I mean, all right, it's loading now. Let's see what it actually said, what it reads. I could have been wrong, and I will admit that if I was. And I would apologize if I was, because I may have been. No, WWE.com, it says New to defend their titles. Huh. Interesting. Things get changed. Hey, card subject to change. But let's talk about the meat and potatoes of tonight's show as it kicked off with Daniel Bryan in the middle of the ring. Well, actually, before that, they recapped Daniel Bryan making his return at TLC, attacking Universal Champion Bray Wyatt. That then started off with Daniel Bryan in the ring, and the fans broke out in a massive Daniel Bryan chant. He noted that last week, few people knew, or the last few weeks, people asked him where he's been. He can't remember and isn't sure. So, is the story with Daniel Bryan now that the Fiend took him hostage, but took him to a place where he didn't know where he was? I don't know if I like that much. He then says he remembers the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, pulling his hair and his beard out. When he came to, he realized he got rid of the brand. I didn't really understand that, but okay. Bryan said that his daughter did not recognize him without his long hair or his beard. And to be completely honest, I don't think since his daughter was born that he's been, let's think about this. I think he's had short hair since she was born. But the beard, I don't know if the beard's been this short since she was born. To be completely honest, I could be wrong. I don't watch enough Total Divas to realize, but hey, Wayne Montgomery, I'm not going to talk about that because anything I say will give spoilers probably or sound too decisive of. Anyways, yeah. I'm not going to say anything about spoilers or about Star Wars for the fact of I don't want to say any little thing wrong and spoil anything for anybody. And I've seen the movie 3 times already. Watched it in theaters and then came home, watched it again last night, and then again watched it today with my kids. So, yeah, not going to talk any Star Wars because I don't want to give any spoilers. I don't even want to say how I felt about the movie. Just so I don't give anything away. But anyways, back to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was talking, saying that his daughter didn't even recognize him with the shorter hair and the no beard. Bryan then said that he didn't even recognize the person when he saw himself in the mirror. And then he recounted all of his achievements. Bryan noted that Wyatt changes the people he faces. Bryan's going to change him. He called out Wyatt, but instead out came The Miz. And here's what I didn't like. So Miz comes out and goes, "Oh, Bryan, you want a match against The Fiend?" "No, I want a match against The Fiend because he terrorized my family. And this time, I want the Universal title on the line." And my first thought was, Miz, you fucking goof. How in the hell can you go from losing to The Fiend or to Bray Wyatt last week at TLC and then 6 days later, 5 fucking days later go, "So I lost, but can I have a title match?" Are you mental, Miz? Are you fucking dumb? How the hell can you lose in a non-title match and think, "Oh, I lost in a non-title match, now I can get a title match"? No, you win the non-fucking title match to get a title fucking match. Yeah, I'm cussing that much because this was just outrageous. Someone thinking that you lose to get something even better. Well, if that's the case, then why didn't the Revival get a title match tonight against the New Day or next week or whenever? Because they lost at the pay-per-view too to the champions. Like shit. So as Miz is saying all this stuff, King Corbin would then interrupt. And he mocked Miz and Bryan, said that neither of them can defeat The Fiend, called them both failures. Failures as a human and a father, and said that Daniel Bryan looked like Baby Yoda. Which, nah, he ain't got the big ears. Corbin says he doesn't care about Miz and Bryan and their issues with Bray Wyatt. He says that defeating Roman Reigns last week at TLC means that he should be getting the next championship shot, the next title shot. He demanded it. He said Miz and Bryan don't deserve it. And I'm like, okay. So I can kind of get where he's coming from. Like, well, I want a big match. Give me the shot. But at the same time, it's like, well, that wasn't a number 1 contenders match, though. So Miz and Bryan walked towards Corbin. But then all of a sudden, Dolph Ziggler would jump him from behind and knock him down. Ziggler and Corbin then beat them up, including hitting them with super kicks and the end of days. We then learned that later on tonight, it will be Miz and Daniel Bryan taking on the team of King Corbin and Dolph Ziggler in a tag team match. So then we got what Michael Cole called a Christmas tradition on SmackDown, Miracle on 34th Street Fight. It's Heavy Machinery versus the Revival. So before this match starts, Heavy Machinery's in the back, and they get interviewed by Kathy Kelly. They're talking about, what Christmas means to them. They're wearing Santa hats, and Mandy Rose approaches Otis. And she goes, "So, Otis, I picked you in the Secret Santa this year. And I saw what happened last week, so I thought that this would be a nice gift for you." And she hands him a freshly baked ham. Well, I don't know if it's freshly baked, but a baked ham. And he looks at it and goes, "Oh." And then she kisses him on the cheek. And he goes, "Ooh," yet again. Crowd popped huge for Mandy kissing him on the cheek. Otis was beyond happy, as if you followed social media and the bump, you would know that Otis has a huge crush on one Mandy Rose. So the New Day, not the New Day, Heavy Machinery and the Revival had a match here, I guess you can say. Otis gave Corey Graves the ham, and that was the big story of this match. When's the ham going to come into play? Michael Cole said at least 5 times, hey, Corey, make sure nothing happens to that ham. Hey, Corey, that ham is important to Otis. Make sure nothing happens to it. So early on, the babyfaces had the advantage, but the Revival took over quickly. Scott Dawson sent Tucker into the ring steps, and the Revival then dropped Tucker on the announce table. Wilder stuffed cookies in Otis's face, and Dawson hit him with a present. Heavy Machinery fought back and set Wilder on a table. Dawson then used a fire extinguisher on Otis. Revival then double-teamed Otis and put him through a table with a powerbomb. After commercial break, Wilder nailed Tucker with a Christmas present. Tucker tried to fight back, but the Revival recovered. Tucker gave Dawson a suplex on the ramp. Wilder hit Tucker with a present and revealed a bowling ball, because you can't have a Miracle on 34th Street fight without a dang bowling ball. He hit Tucker with the bowling ball and then hit him again. Didn't really look good. Revival then brought in a Christmas tree, but Wilder missed a splash and went right into the tree. Revival then threw Tucker into the announce table, and the ham flew off. Graves and Michael Cole made a massive deal about the ham falling off the table. Otis is not going to be happy. Otis is going to be upset. And Otis snapped because the ham fell to the ground. He ran wild on the heels and brought in a bag of Legos. He spread them all over the ring. Otis slammed Dawson onto the Legos, which stuck to his back. Looked a little painful. He then gave the Revival an electric chair and a fall-away slam combo. Otis then hit the Caterpillar, followed by a compactor for the babyfaces to pick up the victory. So in the back, Lacey Evans and her daughter approached Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Cross.
I don't know that one.
Backstage, Otis then ran into Mandy Rose. He apologized for what had happened to the ham. Rose said that it's okay and gave him a huge hug, which Otis loved. And then, as Mandy Rose pulls away from the hug, you see the whole front of her covered in Otis's sweat. Holy shit. I believe that was filmed live, because that was something that you probably couldn't have filmed earlier. I mean, you could have just hosed Otis down and got him all wet. But I don't know. Because she was, like, her whole chest just covered in his sweat. She was disgusted, appalled, and she walked off. Finally, we go back to the ring, and the Revival are still there. They complained about gimmick matches. They said, look at all this trash. And then they said, we're not talking about the people here in the arena, but all the things around the ring. Or maybe we are talking about the people in the arena. They then wondered what happened to tag team wrestling, what's happened to them, and Elias would then come out. Kristen, Elias didn't come out for the New Day match. He came out after this match right here after the Revival start talking. I was just getting to that there, young lady. So Elias comes out, and he sings a song about the Revival, mocked them, and basically told them, go away. To me, this almost felt like a send-off. Like, the Revival, they're getting ready to be done. I know they got 4 more months on their contract, but jeez. I don't know what's going on here. Because this felt like them saying, we don't want to do this goofy stuff. We don't want to be in gimmick matches. We want straight-up competition, tag team, old school, real wrestling. And then Elias just comes out and sings a song and tells them, go away. Are we getting ready to see the last of the Revival on television? I don't know. So in the back, Sami Zayn approaches Braun Strowman. Good to see Braun Strowman back. He was dealing with a slight back injury, but they got him back. Zayn told Strowman, hey, I picked you in Secret Santa. Strowman was upset and pointed out that Zayn mocked the holidays the last couple of weeks. Did he really, though? Because all I can really remember is Otis trying to give him a ham because of Thanksgiving or whatnot, or turkey or whatever it was. He has a ham. And Sammy just goes, well, I'm a vegan. I don't eat that. So did he really mock the holidays? Anyways, I digress. Shinsegae Nakamura and Cesaro would then approach. Strowman then told Zayn he knows what he can get him for Christmas as the Secret Santa, but a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. Zayn acted like he was disappointed that he couldn't do that, but said, yeah, well, we really can't. We're busy. These two got a match tonight against the New Day. Let's just go. So we're building up to what we were supposed to get at TLC. Braun Strowman challenging Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. So next up, we got Sonya Deville versus Carmella in a really quick match. Mandy Rose did not come out with Sonya Deville. Deville nailed Carmella with a knee and a sliding knee for a near fall. Carmella fought back and caught Deville with an elbow, a boot, and a flying clothesline. Carmella ducked a kick, hit a super kick, and then she locked on the Code of Silence for the victory. They really built this up like Carmella could become number one contender to the SmackDown Women's Championship. They kept saying, throughout this match, the woman that wins this match will have an advantage in possibly, finally, rising through the ranks and eventually getting a shot at the championship. And then when Carmella won, they played up again that, hey, if Carmella keeps winning or if Carmella keeps looking good, she could finally face Bayley. We then got another Sheamus vignette. Still don't know when this fucker's coming back. He just said that he's been looking at everybody on the roster, knows that there's really nobody that really likes to fight, but he's coming to fight. So yeah, we're getting him back at some time. So then we got the New Day against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Nakamura knocked Big E off the apron as the bell rang. Cesaro made a blind tag and rocked Kingston with an uppercut. Nakamura followed this up with a backstabber, and Cesaro looked like he was having a little trouble moving around in them pants. I've been saying for a while, why'd you put him in pants? Let him wear tights again. Little undershorts. So the heels isolated Kingston on their side of the ring and cut him off in the corner. Big E then got the hot tag and ran wild, as Big E's hot tags are always just amazing. He caught Nakamura with a belly-to-belly and a big splash. Kingston used his feet to toss Cesaro to the floor and follow up with a dive. Cesaro rocked Big E on the floor with a clothesline. Nakamura threw Big E into the steps. After a commercial break, the heels were in control until Big E sent Cesaro to the floor. The heels then cut off Big E from their corner and isolated him on their side of the ring. Nakamura went for a Kinshasa, but Big E rocked him with a massive clothesline. Kingston then got the hot tag and ran wild. He hit the boom drop and set up the Trouble in Paradise. Cesaro countered by lifting Kingston, and he hit him with an uppercut for a close 2 count. Big E threw Kingston over the top rope onto the heels on the floor. Kingston attempted to tag, but Nakamura pulled Big E off the apron. Cesaro then gave Kingston a big swing into a double foot stomp for a very, very close near fall. Kingston finally recovered and suddenly just rolled up Cesaro for the win. After all of that, in a really good match, just out of nowhere, Kofi hits a roll up and wins. Okay. Then after the match, 3 heels beat down the New Day. Strowman would run out to make the save, walking to the ring. Didn't even run out, actually. Just took his time. Big man hurting. The heels briefly had control until Strowman ran wild and hit a splash on Nakamura. Zayn then pulled Nakamura out of the ring to safety. In the back, The Miz approached Daniel Bryan. They discussed their upcoming match and then argued who hates the other the most. Literally, back and forth, bickering like little bitches. No, I hate you more. No, I hate you more. No, I hate you more. No, I hate you the most. No, I hate you the mostest. No, I hate you the mostest. Ah, shut up. I hate you more. Like, catty little bitches. It's not what you want out of possible number 1 contenders. No, not at all. So then next up, we had a Bayley in a non-title match against Dana Brooke. So basically, last week, Dana Brooke took on Bayley and lost. But Bayley, as a heel shouldn't do, took to social media and said, Dana Brooke, thanks for stepping up. Fortunately, you just weren't on my level. So Dana Brooke goes, me taking you on last week was not about stepping up. It was about me showing you that I was always on your level. Give me one more chance. And then Bayley on social media said, fine, I'll give you another shot, but my title will not be on the line. And we move on to tonight. Corey Graves pointed out early that Bayley defeated Dana Brooke last week, so this makes no sense. And I never usually agree much with Corey Graves, but he made a great point on his podcast this week after the bell. Why are we doing so many rematches? Why are we doing a match one week just to basically do it again the next? And I agree with Corey Graves saying that. And Henry, I was about to say that as well. Dana Brooke has improved. She's getting better, just like Lacey Evans. Both of them have improved here in 2019. So Brooke had the early advantage and scored a near fall. Bayley slowed down the pace with a chin lock. Brooke made a comeback and hit a swanton bomb for another near fall. She followed it up with a shoulder tackle and a cartwheel into a splash for a 2. Bayley recovered and dropped Brooks on the top turnbuckle. She then dropped Brooke face first for the victory. After the match, the heels yelled at Dana Brooke until Lacey Evans made her way down to the ring. Evans would say that Sasha Banks is not the legit boss, but a legit bully, and she was always taught not to let the bullies get the advantage, so she wanted to take on Sasha Banks. She said, tonight, Sasha, I'll make you into the legit loser. So Sasha Banks agreed to the match. Banks was firmly in control early and hit a suplex for a 2. Banks slowed down the pace and worked over the arm. She followed it up with a Meteora for a near fall. Meteora to the back of the head. Lacey went face first into the turnbuckle. Evans then did eventually fire back, hitting a big knee. Banks missed a charge into the corner, and Evans and Banks fought on the apron. They then fought on the floor, and Bayley distracted Evans. Banks pushed Evans face first into the ring post. They brawled around ringside and ended up getting counted out. So as they're brawling around ringside, we get alerted by commentary, hey, look, right in front of them in the front row is Lacey Evans' husband and her daughter. And her daughter is just looking at Sasha Banks, not like, don't hurt my mommy. Not like, oh my God, I'm scared you're going to hurt my mother. No, like, I want to fuck you up. She was scowling at Sasha Banks. At one time, Lacey Evans' daughter took a swing at Sasha Banks. And I go, whoo-hoo! Izzy 2.0 kicked up a notch, though. Because when Sasha Banks did her stuff to Izzy, back in 2016, I think it was, Izzy cried. Izzy was scared for Bayley and what Sasha Banks was going to do to her. Not Lacey Evans' daughter. Lacey Evans' daughter was giving Sasha that mean mug, like, quit messing with my mommy or I'm going to kill you. Like, dang. This is great. I loved it. Like, she seemed concerned, but more pissed. Like, I know my mommy is getting beat up here. I'm mad because you're doing that. I'm a little concerned. But at the same time, it's like, I know how tough my mom is. She'll come back. She'll get you. Evans did recover and ran off the heels. I liked it, though. I liked how into it her daughter got. Not just like sometimes like when we saw Daniel Bryan's daughter at SummerSlam. And she was just like scared for her father. Or like, oh, daddy, blood, don't touch me. No. Lacey Evans' daughter is just at that right age where she can understand maybe what they tell her to do in her role and what they want. And I don't know if they told her to do what she did. Or if they just said, look sad, look mad. And then she kicked it up a notch. But I can't talk great about this. So last week I talked about Mrs. daughter's performance and how she was great. Lacey Evans' daughter times 12 in her performance. I'm not saying get more of these kids on TV, but hey, if it works, it works. So let me go to the main event. But before we go to the main event, before we tell you what happened in Daniel Bryan and The Miz taking on the team of Dolph Ziggler and King Corbin, we got to tell you that this video here is brought to you by My Medic. My Medic is here to keep you safe in every sort of situation. Because everybody bleeds. Everybody gets hurt. Everybody has that moment when they need a little bit of help. They need a little bit of first aid. And that is where my medic comes in handy. My medic has got the right kind of kit for you, no matter what situation you're in. Whether you need a first aid kit, a heavily packed first aid kit in your car, at your office, in your pocket, with you on the road, with you anywhere, my medic has got you covered. My medic is not like any other first aid kits. They are here with everything for every sort of situation. Right now, if you use the link in the description below, our listeners will not only be supporting us here at PWUnlimited when you order your first kit of from my medic, you will also get 10% off of your purchase. Again, use the link in the description below to order your own kit from my medic, as they have a kit for everybody in every situation. Because my medic, they've created the safest Christmas tree on planet for everybody in every situation. So with that, then we move on to the main event. The main event was Daniel Bryan and The Miz taking on King Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. Michael Cole pushed the idea that Miz and Bryan are enemies, and it's odd for them to team up tonight. But at the same time, Michael Cole says that, but it's not like they said, hey, let's team together to take on Corbin and Ziggler. Basically, they were told to team together to take on Corbin and Ziggler. So Bryan and Miz argued about who's going to start the match. The heels jumped them, and the match starts. Bryan rocked Ziggler with a yes kicks, but Miz made a tag. Miz then hit the it kicks on Ziggler. Bryan and Miz then hit the yes kicks and the it kicks at the same time on both Ziggler and Corbin. After a commercial break, Bryan rocked Corbin with a running clothesline, followed up with a running drop kick in the corner. Corbin then countered into a awesome, or as Miz would say, awesome looking deep six. Because when Corbin hits the deep six on these smaller guys, he can just spin around for days and then slam them down so hard. It's great. The heels took over here and isolated Bryan on their side of the ring. Corbin then rocked Bryan with a hard elbow to the shoulder. Bryan eventually fought back and hit a missile dropkick on Corbin. Miz got the tag and ran wild on the heels. He caught Ziggler with a DDT, but Corbin made the save. Ziggler fought back and hit a DDT for a close near fall. Ziggler attempted the super kick, but Miz caught the leg and applied the figure four for the victory. Miz pins Dolph Ziggler with a figure four leg lock. This then leads to the announcement that next week on SmackDown, we'll be getting a triple threat number one contenders match between Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and King Corbin, where the winner moves on to Royal Rumble in just 6 weeks to take on The Fiend with a Universal title on the line. And my thought was, okay, cool. Why is Ziggler left out? I get it, Ziggler didn't profess his want of the number one contendership earlier in the night, but hey, he was in this tag match. Does the losing and taking the fall mean you don't get the number one contender spot? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. These three are going to battle next week, and I assume Daniel Bryan picks up the victory. That's just my assumption, since Daniel Bryan versus The Miz has been planned for a little while now. Well, before we do wrap things up, I got a couple text messages, a couple questions. Chris McNutt in the live chat says, what's going on with the U.S. title redesign? So all I've heard is they've commissioned a new U.S. title. It's apparently done. But what does that really mean? We heard the IC title redesign was done months ago before it was brought to television. So we'll just wait and see. Wait and see. Oh, this person says when SmackDown went off the air, The Fiend came out and killed Corbin and Miz. Yeah, The Fiend's music played, but we never really saw anything as the show went off the air. This person here does state, do you think Mandy and Otis segment is going to lead to something more? Maybe, but probably not, especially how disgusted she got with him afterwards. I mean, it could, but I doubt it. But with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about Friday Night Smackdown from Brooklyn, New York. I also want to say thank you to everybody who watches later right here on YouTube or listens on podcast services all around the world. With that, we will be live again. No pay-per-view this weekend, so Monday, following Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a safe weekend. Have a happy holidays next week if you don't join us for any of our podcasts next week. And have a good night.